Brilliance Audio presents The Soldier by Neal Asher, performed by David Marantz. Marco's ship surfaced from the faster-than-light continuum of underspace into real space and was quickly back within Einstein's laws. His vessel came to an abrupt stop in the permitted zone lying 5 light minutes out from musket shot, a dark planetoid whose mass was over 50% lead. Had Marco surfaced his ship just a few thousand miles outside this spot, it would have lasted a little over 4 microseconds, so he had once been told by the artificial intelligence Pragus. This was how long it would take the 3-foot-wide particle beam to reach the ship from the weapons system watching that area of space. Of course, Pragus could have been lenient and delivered a warning, but any traders who came here never missed that spot. Apparently 2 other ships had arrived in the proscribed zone. One had been owned by a tourist who had ignored all the warnings delivered to anyone who programmed these coordinates. The other had been a ship controlled by separatists out of the Polity in search of new terror weapons. Both were now cool, expanding clouds of dust. Or so Pragus said. "So, what do you have for me, Captain Marco?" The voice issuing from his console made Marco jerk. Then he grimaced, annoyed at his own reaction. He'd made the deal. It was a good one, and certainly not one he could renege on, considering who he'd made it with. He shrugged his shoulders like he did before going into a fight, and opened full comm. The image of a chromed face appeared in the screen laminate before him, and Marco forced a smile. "Something interesting today," he replied gruffly. "I never thought otherwise," said the AI Pragus. Interesting was what Pragus needed, what all the AIs out here on the defense sphere needed. Marco had learned the story from another trader who used to do this run before him. Here the AIs, each stationed on a weapons platform, were guarding the Polity from one of the most dangerous threats it had ever faced. Automatic systems would never have been sufficient, for the format of this threat could change at any time. But the problem with employing high-functioning AIs as watchdogs was their boredom. 3 AIs had to be pulled out of the sphere in the first years, having turned inward to lose themselves in the realms of their own minds. That was before Orlandine, the overseer of the Sphere Project, decided on a new approach. She allowed contact with the Polity AI net, and she permitted traders to bring items of interest to sell. AI toys. "You can come into dock," Pragus added. "Thank you kindly," said Marco. Then, trying to find his usual humor, added, "Finger off the trigger, mind." "I don't have fingers," said the AI, and the chrome face disappeared from the screen laminate. Marco reached down to his touch console, prodded the icon for the docking program that had just arrived, and simply slid it across to the icon representing his ship's mind. This was the frozen ganglion of a prador second child. Voiceless, remote, just a complex organic computer, and nothing like the living thing it had once been. It began to take his ship in. Then Marco used the console to pull up another view in the screen laminate to his left. From this angle, the accretion disk, around which the defensive weapons platforms were positioned, looked like a blind, open white eye. It seemed like any other such stellar object in the universe, just a steadily swirling mass of gases, and the remnants of older stars which would eventually form a new solar system. His ship's sensors could detect scattered planetesimals within it, the misty bulks of forming planets, and the larger mass of the dead star at the heart of the disk. Occasionally that star would light, traceries of fusion fire fleeing around its surface like the smoldering edges of fuse paper. One day, maybe tomorrow, or maybe 1,000 years hence, the sun would ignite fully. The resulting blast would blow a large portion of the accretion disk out into interstellar space. Marco knew this was the event to be feared, since it was the job of the weapons platform AIs like Pragus to ensure that the virulent pseudo-life within that disk did not escape.